Guys, if you're thinking about getting backyard chickens or just some chickens for your homestead, and you've got dogs, and you're wondering, can I let my chickens free range in my yard? Would my dogs eat my chickens? Well, the answer to that is probably. Well, maybe not. Let's look into it further. Before we got our chickens, Kim did a ton of research. Now, originally, of course, we built the chicken coop and we planned on leaving the chickens in the chicken coop, but we found that Kim felt like they were getting too hot in there, and she wanted them to be able to get out and get a breeze, or just, kind of get under bushes or whatever, and just kind of live a better life. But we have these two monsters here, and they are extremely high prey drive dogs. I mean, if there's something in the yard, they're after it. So we were obviously very concerned about that. Threw it too far. He's learning. He's just now learning how to catch a Frisbee. Yeah, good girl. Good girl. Ugh. By the way, if I stand funny, or if I walk funny, it's time for my biannual throwing out of the back. So I've barely been able to walk the past several days, but I'm trying to get as much movement in to loosen it back up. It actually comes from sitting, I think mostly for editing these videos. Oh, until the last couple of years, most of the day was spent like in the cabinet shop and stuff, and outside moving heavy stuff all day. And now I gotta spend so much time editing that sitting is throwing my back out. It's crazy. Oh, she's a good girl. Here, come here. Oh. Come here. Come here, goofball. I haven't thrown it yet. All right, no, they're gonna. All right, out. Good girl. So we watched a lot of videos on this with people that did have dogs whenever they had their backyard chickens, and I didn't see any in particular that had a German Shepherd and a Malinois, but I saw them where they had like Australian Shepherds and stuff like that. And they said that in the beginning, their dogs did want to kill the chickens, basically. And that's the way these were. Come here, come here. But after a certain amount of time, the dogs got used to the chickens, and then the dogs eventually protected the chickens. Well, whenever we first started to let the chickens out, it was a real pain, honestly, because we like to let the dogs run around and play, and you see how they like to roughhouse and stuff. He doesn't have it down yet. All right, Storm out. Out. Good girl. Come here. All right, go get yours. Go get yours. For probably 6 months, even after we decided to let the chickens free range, we made sure that the dogs didn't get anywhere near them. And in fact, every once in a while I'd forget and have a brain fart, and I'd let the dogs out the back door to go to the bathroom, and then I'd see the chickens out there, and I'd be like, yeah, come here, I want to get in. I was so afraid they'd just go out there and tear them apart. Out. Good girl. And they'd go up to the chicken coop and they would just go insane. And then Storm has this crazy thing where if you got like an animal outside the door, she shoves her nose up to the door and she goes, she tries to like breathe that animal in as much as now look, you tore up your Frisbee. She tries to breathe that animal in as much as she can, and they would do that. They'd go up to the chicken coop and just be absolute lunatics. And what we started doing was eventually, while the chickens were out, we would put the dogs on a leash. Come here. Here's a good girl. We put the dogs on a leash, and then we slowly started getting closer to the chickens. Out. Sit. Left. Good girl. Left. Good girl. Down. Roll over. Sit. Sit pretty. Speak. 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 Yes. Good girl. Left. Good boy. Sit. Right. Good boy. Down. Good boy. Sit. Sit. That's a good boy. Oh, I got to get my frisbee tossed down better. There we go. But we just kept letting the dogs get closer and closer to the chickens. And then where we didn't see any response from the dogs, because I mean, before this, if the chickens walked by the windows, the dogs would go insane. Like they just wanted to bust through the window and get the chickens. But after getting near them, all right, you're gonna tear it up. So much for the frisbee. You gonna see me? Oh yeah, that works great now. All right, so that's what we figured they would do the chickens. Eventually, we just got to the point where we said, you know, everything, what it is what it is. You know, we didn't want to lose the chickens, but you know, there was the rooster there, so hopefully he would kind of deter them, although he's not going to scare them. And we just let them out one day, and they didn't eat the chickens. And they've actually gotten to the point now where we can let them right beside the chickens, and I'll show you a video of letting the chickens out and actually Storm going into the chicken coop. And this is the first time that I've ever done it this way, because I wanted to see what would happen for the sake of this video. Come here, Havoc. You laying me an egg? Fish in a barrel. Come on, Storm. All right, go on, get out of here. Come on, Storm. Then one day Kim was outside feeding the dogs, and the chickens, what was it, the two big chickens, Kim? The two big chickens came up. Have it. The two big chickens came up while Storm was eating, and Storm just let them eat. So she had to show me again one day where she let the dogs out and she's throwing food down for the dogs to eat, treats, and the chickens come up and the chickens will eat, and the dogs will let the chickens eat right beside them, and they don't bother the chickens.
They'll go crazy for it. Oh. Wobble, wobble, wobble. Here, where's the dogs? Nugget just took this whole thing, this big bowl. They eat lizards and they eat little snakes. Oh, yeah. That's kind of disturbing.
Havoc's like, Havoc, look, he's like, dude.
I'm sorry.
I think they've gotten to the point now where they understand that the chickens are family, and you know, I don't know if they would protect the chickens if a hawk tried to get them or something. I don't know. They would probably try to get the hawk just for the sake of it being a different animal. Like we have buzzards that land in the yard sometimes, and they go nuts and go after those buzzards. Good boy. So I would guess that if a hawk came out here, they'd try to get the hawk, but it wouldn't necessarily be to protect the chickens. Although Storm picks on Coco all the time, and if anybody tries to pick on Coco, Storm doesn't allow it. That's Coco only allowed to be picked on by Storm, so she may have the same feelings for the chickens. Good boy, come here. Bring it here. I'll show you here. We taught Storm how to out properly, although sometimes she kind of loses her mind, but she'll watch out for your hand most of the time. But we taught Havoc how to behave, and listen, but we never taught him how to out properly. And so like if something's on the ground, you have to watch him. You don't see how he's like, hey, hey, because he's like a rattlesnake with legs. He'll just pow, he'll pop it. When we take him for a walk, if there's something like, if there's something on the ground beside him, he just snaps at it and grabs it. Not like people, but you know, like a pine cone or something like that. So he's a little cray-cray. Come here. But people always tell you, like Malinois, oh, like you can't grab them by the tail because they'll snap back and bite you. If you get the wrong one, if you get like he's a pretty chill one, to be honest with you. If you gotta, let's see. I watch to make sure he doesn't get my hand. And the funny thing is, used to whenever you'd give him snacks or food or anything, you had to be very careful because he'd just snatch it. And of all people, it was Cameron, because I wouldn't have let her do this if I'd known she was doing it. But she's the one that taught him to take food from your hand gently, because he is her dog. And when she's out here walking around, he's by her side. He won't leave her side. He's her protector. But I don't know if he thinks she's his baby or the other way around. But she taught him to be gentle with food. Come here. But we never taught him. Storm will bring you the toy and give it to you for you to throw. But what he does is generally, while we're playing with Storm out, he runs and gets his toy, and then he likes to make like 6 or 8 laps before he brings it back to you. And then he'll drop it in front of you. He won't come up and hand it to you. Out. Oh, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Come here. Sit. Sit pretty. Sit pretty. Yes.
There he goes.
Thanks.
Got spiked! You got me! You didn't pick up your mess, Daddy!
Here, hold on.
So scared.
Ah! He got me.
You're right. Alright, we lost him.
Oh, I see him.
You see him?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna use her.
Okay.
Coming up the wall.
Go
There he
ball.
goes. There you go. Get him.
No!
Oh.
Oh, I got his tail. I was gonna
Did it drop?
No, he's right.
No, I didn't.
It's okay, dude. We're not gonna kill you. Hey. Hydrangea, careful.
Eat him.
Oh, Daddy got him. Yay. Maybe.
Grab him.
Ah, it's gonna bite you.
No, it doesn't hurt.
Okay, let me see him.
Oh, you're stepping on all my new balloons. Get out of my
Oh
bed.
no, got him. Mommy's gone.
He's cute. Oh, you have a spider. Oh, wait, no.
Ooh.
Is that a tick?
Yes, that's a tick.
That's a red tick.
Look at that.
With a
I
little
think
white
that's a
dot.
Lone Star tick. Hold on.
Good Lord, you need to change.
I got him.
Take it out of my flower bed, lady. You're squishing my
Let me
flowers.
see your lizard again.
He changed colors.
Yeah, now
Oh,
he's
he
brown.
did.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Why did you catch him, Cameron? What'd you need him for?
For science.
No.
For
all
her
science.
science. Yeah.
Little kid class.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a science class, so she's taking them to a little kindergarten class to show animal pet things.
It's called Pet Pals.
For
Pet
your homeschool co-op, right?
Yes.
Oh no!
What in the world?
Go
Oh,
that way. Go that way.
man, dropped him.
Oh,
Here you go.
right there! He's behind you! He's running! Oh, goodness.
All right. Oh wow, he's even darker now. All right. One by one, I'll eradicate them. What about rabbits? Can your dogs be around rabbits? I got the dogs good and tired. If you run them for about 15 or 20 minutes, it'll give you about 15 or 20 minutes of them being tired before they wind back up again. Let's find out what happens with the rabbits. And energy levels are back up. So this is pretty much how they acted when we first got the chickens. They desperately wanted to eat them, and like they do these rabbits. And so we had to protect the rabbits. Now this, because these are the girls' pets, I should say, these are not our meat rabbits. We don't raise rabbits to eat, but these are the girls' pets. This is Indigo and what's the other one's name, Ken? Indigo and Dakota. Yeah, this is like their typical behavior for any animal. That's why like it blows my mind that they'll live with the chickens now. This is an omelet igloo go rabbit hutch. This thing is pretty freaking awesome. Omelet sent us this last year sometime, and we've been using it for, I don't know, what about like 8 months, Kim? Something like that. And it's really cool. I don't know if you've ever heard of Omelet, but they have lots of cool like homestead stuff basically, but it all has like really cool designs to it and everything. In fact, my sister just bought a chicken coop with a run for her chickens because she bought more chickens and she has a crazy amount of them. Kim and Madison actually put this together when we got this, and it's just really well thought out. This has the 6-foot run on it, and I actually have a bunch of accessories. I'm gonna put those on it today. I wanna show you what's some of the cool features of this. So it has this door that, and what we do is every night we put the rabbits back into the hutch. Now this thing actually has, the cage is built all the way around. So it goes underneath the run as well, so that, you know, like raccoons or something couldn't get in here. But just to be on the safe side, we put them up every night. The girls come out and you just lift this knob up and this door swings open and they run inside, close it, and then release them the next morning. It's just got this knob you twist on the back flips down, and you can pull the whole bottom out of this. You just rinse it off to clean it out. This also gives you access to put a hay, you know, little hay bale or whatever, and their water inside the hutch here. No. Oh girl, you better not let that rabbit get out. The wheels have come in really handy for us because we've actually got it sitting over here just because they're clearing out some land over beside us and they were burning yesterday, and we didn't want the smoke, the rabbits having to inhale all the smoke. What we use this thing for is we put it over in the garden, and it's just the perfect size. We put it in between the beds, and we use it as like the lawnmower / weed eater to go through. And you'll put them there, and you come out the next day, and that grass is flat.
Why?
Who is this?
Dakota.
Dakota. We've got our upgrades on here. Let's see if Dakota would like to explore. He's going to explore it. Ta-da! This is the zippy rabbit run and the tunnel and all these accessories, and you can connect these all different ways, but this is just pretty cool. And you can see whenever I connected it that you can disconnect it and close the door off so that you don't have to worry about, you know, if you don't want everything connected, everything is still sealed up really well. It's been so long since we got this that I actually emailed Omelet the other day to see if there was a discount code, and there is. You can punch in HAXMAN 10%, and I'll put a link in the description where you can go check out all their stuff and use that code and you'll save 10%. All right, girls, well, Mommy and Daddy gotta go. We'll see y'all later, okay? Bye. Bye. Can your dogs coexist with your backyard chickens? Yeah, I'd say give it a little bit of time, and that's probably a definite.